Hooray!
We're tethered into my phone right now. So
Jesus.
we are tethered into my phone right now. So this is gonna be a
luckily,
good time. Good thing we're almost done. At least we got the bulk of it like out of the way. So
true, and it was during the break, so that's
even better. So
good timing, right?
This is why, like, I feel so bad all the time because it's like it's like, oh, we need to restream. I'm like, I would love to restream this stuff for you, but like my internet is so unreliable. I can't I can't volunteer to restream.
True.
I feel so bad about it.
I'm just not home never, so or asleep during those periods.
It's fair.
Yeah.
And luckily, the recording doesn't stop either when I lose internet, so there's still a recording at least. So.
Good.
All right. Well, welcome back, everybody. Those coming back from the internet outage and for those coming back from the break. So diving back into Batman. Now that we talked about the game, we'll start with you, Mo. Thoughts, history with the game?
Yeah. So I can't really remember if I ever played this as a kid, or later in life. Like, I didn't have it. I'm pretty sure of that, but maybe I did play it over at a friend's house or something. I'm really not sure. But I have known this game for a long time. But I think it's just before we did the Tiny 10 with it that I actually sat down and really played through it. And yeah, knowing it for a long time, the music is also very familiar to me. Like, there are a lot of times where I just start humming the first stage music out of nowhere because it's just so ingrained into my mind, which happens with a lot of Sunsoft songs, to be honest, from that period. Like, there's the Blaster Master team and some other games like Habaraki. I don't know what it's called in. I always forget the name in Europe. Euphoria or something like that. Those are all tracks that once you've heard them, they're stuck in your mind forever, which is really great. So yeah, at least the game made an impact on me during some period. I like this game a lot for its simplicity, but I don't really consider it a real Batman game, especially not with all the other Batman games that are out there. Like, this one doesn't have the Batman feel to it. Like the NES one and the Genesis one feel like a Batman game. This feels like something else with Batman slapped onto it. But that's fine, you know. Like Journey to Silius, which we mentioned earlier, was actually supposed to be a Terminator game. Who hasn't heard that one before, right? Yeah, it's its own thing, but you can definitely see that it was supposed to be something else. I don't think this is the case with this one. I think they just went with what they knew about making Game Boy games back then, so it doesn't really feel that much like a Game Boy game. And I grew up with Return of the Joker for Game Boy, and that one does feel like an actual Batman game. So. But yeah, it's just a fun game. I recommend it to everybody, and we can just all agree that it's based on the best Batman movie ever made. So at least there's that.
Yeah, I had the NES version growing up, obviously, like every Batman lover did, because Batman is one of my favorite superheroes. I dog on him a lot just because I'm like, I call him the rich superhero, right? It's like his superpower is he has a lot of money. But Batman is probably by far my favorite superhero. So I had a bunch of Batman stuff growing up. I still have a lot of Batman stuff even as an adult. So Batman was very much my go-to, especially the Michael Keaton Batman. Like growing up, like Michael Keaton was Batman, and in my opinion, the best Batman we've had so far in a theater. So with that though, like I never played any of the Batman Game Boy games until uh until my adult life, when I started doing Game Boy Adventure and digging around with Game Boy stuff with Mo and the Game Boy community. um Batgun was the first Batman game that I played on Game Boy, and very much like what Mo was talking about, it doesn't feel like a Batman game simply because like Jack and the Joker fights are literally the same fight.
The same fights, yeah.
And like there's no other villains that you fight in the game. It's literally just Jack Napier and the Joker. There's no Scarecrow. There's no, well, obviously there would be no Penguin yet, but you know, because that came later on. But like there's no none of that at all. Like there's no like scenes of fighting like Joker's goons. Like they could have had a boss stage, so to speak, of fighting like Joker's goons in an alleyway or something. Like it just didn't feel like a Batman game. It just felt like a simple platform shooter game that mimicked a very similar engine to Super Mario Land, which again, not a bad thing. Super Mario Land is a great game. And honestly, for being a 1990 platform shooter game, I'll take it. It's still very early in the Game Boy life cycle. And later on, we get fantastic Batman games in the Game Boy library. Like we get Batman the Animated Series, which is still probably top 3 Game Boy games for me. Still, it's hard as balls, but it's a very good game. Return of the Joker is an incredible game as well too for the Game Boy. Even Batman Forever is moderately okay for the Game Boy. So
it's one of the better versions of that game.
Yeah, it's one of the better versions of the game for sure. So like even with this, like I still take it. You know, I'll play it. I played it last week, and overall, it's a game slapped with Batman on it with a sprite that mimics Batman, but it's not a noir feel, dark dungeon, dark grungy Batman game that we all live to want. So, but again, I'm okay with that. So,
Indeed.
But yeah. Beyond that, we have retro achievements for the game. I know you're into that kind of stuff. So,
yeah, it does have a list, which sadly is only half a good list. So the first half of this list of retro achievement is literally play the game. So you get an achievement for beating every stage in the game. So that's great. You get an achievement for picking up every different weapon in the game. You get one for getting 100,000 points and one for 200,000 points. So, I mean, pretty standard fare when it comes to those achievements. But then you get to the rest, which is literally play the game without ever getting hit once. Luckily stage based, so not play through the entire game without getting hit once. But yeah, literally every stage and every boss fight has an achievement tied to it for you getting through it without ever taking damage. And no.
no.
No, I'm not. No. We're not gonna do that. At least I'm not gonna do that. And if you want to do that, good luck.
No,
it's gonna take a while.
No, I do not want to do that. Game does have a pretty decent leaderboard to it. It has 15 runs on it. Old runs. The most recent run being from a year ago. But the world record is probably one of the older world records for Game Boy in general. Prissy holds the record right now at 10 minutes and 52 seconds. This was 6 years ago. So this is a pretty old record, and they even comment that the run can be improved. So, I definitely would love to see more people throw some time I'm at the game for sure. And it's a short game. I mean, 11-minute run, pretty average, pretty short for Game Boy. So
it's nothing.
But I beyond, like I said, like there's no glitches, there's no crazy things to learn. It's the biggest thing is knowing headshots on bosses, so being good at head shooting on Jack and Joker, knowing where the appropriate power ups and weapons are, and getting through 4-2. Like those are the three biggest things right there. So 4-2 is probably the biggest roadblock of it all, honestly.
Yeah. It will always be casual or speedrun wise.
True. So yeah, I don't see there's any resources. I doubt it.
I don't think so, no.
I would there's not even a guide for it, so hate to be that guy. Yeah, same. I just went to the forum, and it's one of the first things is hate to be that guy, but so
all right.
But yeah, go watch the first couple. Go watch the top runs and kind of check it out if you're interested in it. Like I said, pretty short run, about we'll say a 15-minute estimate, and go learn some bat gun.
Indeed.
All right. Well, we're not gonna take another break. We're just gonna dive right into other shenanigans that we got going on here. Let me pull up the shenanigan chart here. So yeah, community events related to the Game Boy, if any way possible. So being a part of RGL, there's a lot of stuff happening with RGL. So after this, 1 p.m. Eastern today, RGL is putting on the Nescathlon reveal race. So I'm actually pretty stoked to see what games are going to be in the Nescathlon. That reveal race happens pretty much after this episode. And then next month is Ninja Gaiden. So next month is all ninjas all the time. Which means that we may see some Ninja Gaiden Shadow along the line, along with a Ninja Gaiden of a sort, one night only tournament. Since we've been doing those monthly now. We also on RGL do retro race nights every Friday night, and I know that I've been getting DMs, quite a bit of DMs about Game Boy games and short goals for said Game Boy games. So if you're wanting to get into the Game Boy stuff, definitely come check out retro race nights at RGL. I've already put in some choice games that people I know would for sure love, like Beavis and Butthead and Home Alone 2.
Great.
So come definitely check that out. And then obviously we have a bunch of other episodes going through the week. So every other week, every other Tuesday is RGL Sports Night. So these are going to be like football, baseball, wrestling, things like that, which the Game Boy, oddly enough, had a ton of sports games on it. So maybe some night there might be a Game Boy Sports Night going on a Tuesday evening. And then every other Tuesday that's not the sports night is golf with Flannel Cat and Vadi. And then every Monday night is Monday randomizers. And there is a Link's Awakening DX randomizer. Just saying, that might make an appearance. It's actually a pretty damn good randomizer as well. There's Pokemon randomizer. There's a randomizer for everything out there nowadays, so let's just be fair. There's not a Dreamland randomizer yet, but I just wait for it. What else we got going on? Every Wednesday night is the Sequence Break podcast with Lat Mackey. Where his focus is a lot on the speedrun orientation of the game. So he gets the speedrunners of the game or the series, talk about the game, talk about the speedrun, talk about the origin of the speedrun, what got them into the game, etc. Awesome podcast, very good listen, very good watch. His production value is well beyond ours. So I watched one of his episodes. I'm like, oh my god, he has things that spin and move. I'm like, what is happening? Like, wow. So there's definitely that coming up this year. We have a lot more stuff coming up in July. Let me pull up the July calendar here real quick. So,
Yeah.
so in
Plus,
July,
we did an episode with Lad as well.
we
The
did
Bonk
Bonk
episode. So
episode. Yeah.
go check that one out. That was really fun.
It was something. So yeah, July 1st, which is a Saturday, a couple Saturdays from now, maybe next Saturday, I don't know. July 1st, at 1 p.m. Eastern is the Bobby Bonilla Day, which is Baseball Stars 2 Vonot. So definitely come check that out, be a part of that. And at 4 or 5, 6 p.m. Eastern, I have to do time zone conversions in my head on the fly right now. 6 p.m. Eastern is Sega Rings of Champions first event, so definitely come and watch those. And then in July, it will be July 14th, the 16th. Get your ninjas ready: Shinobi, Ninja Gaiden, Ninja Spirit, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, not Hero Turtles. Sorry, Europe, you can't be a part of this. And then Sega Rings of
Batman is technically a ninja.
Yeah, it's true. He is technically, yeah. The Sega Rings of Champions Race 2 Shinobi series will be. Oh, that's in August. We're getting ahead of ourselves now. That's too far down the line for us to even think about at this point. So yeah, we definitely got a lot of things going on with RGL. So please stay tuned. Come check it out. Come join the Discord. There's plenty of things happening all the time. Everyone's real friendly. People love talking about video games, sports, wrestling, you name it. Right now, right this second, if you're watching this live, even though we do have the next Cathlon at 1 p.m., Power Up with Pride is also running their summer marathon right now, which I believe ends today or tonight rather. So I was watching that a little bit last night, and yeah. What else we got going on? There's so much stuff that happens in the summertime. ESA summer is quickly approaching. I don't know what their game list looks like at all because I don't really keep track of ESA very much since I don't live in Europe.
I assume a lot of PC games, like always.
Probably, but ESA is starting up July 22nd. It will be ending July 29th. Obviously, it's an on event. It's an on event in Sweden. And let's see what. It's so hard to find their. Do they not have games ready yet?
I'm not sure.
Schedule release June 11th. It's June 25th, so
maybe they're a bit behind. I don't know.
Oh, here we go. So we got Super Mario Land 3 Wario Land.
Ooh.
Which is opening ESA.
Wow.
There you go. That'll be ran by Big John. Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland. Opening day. Ran by Rocks. Let's see here. Don't care about Wind Waker. Cards, Lego, Sonic, Castlevania, Mega Man 3. So there's a little bit of Mega Man blocks and Mega Man 3 by Cool Kid and Prissy will be running on.
That's great.
Second day, it looks like. Oh, eyes are watery, allergies. Well, beyond that, on that, yeah. Oh, they're playing MC Kids. Oh my god. Let's see here. Well, they're playing Batman the video game, probably the NES.
There we go.
Probably the NES
Probably.
version, since Dexter and Indy are part of it. But
yep.
let's see here. You can definitely watch the NES version of the game. Oh, there's games to the side over here. I didn't even notice these.
True. Yes.
Their layout's so dumb. Sorry, but the layout is just hot garbage. Pokemon White. Like, is there a way just to like? Oh, okay. Of course not. ESA makes things way too complicated. Star Tropics, Karnov, Maniac Mansion. Let's see. Oh, I think we might. Oh, Pokemon Emerald. So if you're into Pokemon, there's a couple Pokemon games. I don't even know where I'm at anymore. Here we go. GTA 5, Elden Ring, GTA 3, Metal Gear Solid, Pokemon trading card game, the Game Boy Color game. Oh. Yeah. Well, we got a Game Boy game to open up ESA at least, so
yeah, that is already
I mean,
amazing. So, what more can you ask?
What more could you ask for? But I mean, there's some handheld. I mean, the list itself actually looks really good. There's definitely a lot of mix of PC and console games, which honestly is kind of rare from what I see, because typically ESA is pretty heavy PC. Yeah. But there's a lot of console games going on. Definitely a pretty good list of games, so definitely want to check that out. And I think their charity of choice is, oh, I cannot pronounce that. It's the Swedish Alzheimer's Foundation. Yes. I can't pronounce the actual name. It's like Alzheimer Fondant or something like that. I have no idea. Yes. Is that it? Oh my god, I could be European right now, boys. Let's go. I don't even need to take the immigration test. Just let me in. Not yet though. It's too hot over there. I'll wait for it to cool down.
Right.
Because y'all don't believe in AC over there.
Nope.
All right. There's probably a 1,000 more events and marathons that are happening as well too. I know Midwest Speed Fest is going to be up and spinning here soon with their upcoming marathon. There's Speedy Fist. There's so many. Big Bad Game-a-thon just got announced for this year. I know Brascentia just tweeted that out. So there's so much stuff happening in the summertime. Honestly, the biggest thing I can tell you is just keep your eyes open on Twitter. You know, maybe have like a little search thingy that looks up like speedrun marathons or something, and
yeah,
keep your eye out on that. Reddit apparently is a big place for these marathons to get talked about, rather. There we go. So definitely keep your eyes open for that. Like I said, there's a plethora of marathons that are going to be coming, and I'm not going to be able to hit all of them at all. So
I'll be surprised if I can even catch half of one run or something.
No, I live in the Midwest, and I've gone to Midwest Speed Fest once, and I live 20 minutes away from the venue. So I mean, it just tells you just how busy you get. So yeah, with that, listener questions. So I don't think we have any questions at all.
We do not have any questions, no. Like, everybody basically knows this game.
Oh. Yeah, it's a pretty popular Game Boy game at this point.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
All right, well, here comes our very scripted outro. that
Very scripted
we
indeed.
never mess up. If you have any thoughts and suggestions about the podcast, aside from my internet cutting out, which I can't fix, so deal with it. If any thoughts and suggestions for the podcast, we'd love to hear it. Positive, negative, neutral, we'd love to hear it all. We want to make the podcast as best as we can for you all and for us. We love getting the information out. We love spreading the word of Game Boy games, and just hanging out with you all and chatting BS and in here. You can find me, Eat Bloody Candy, on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok. Yeah. Where can I find you, Mo?
You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram, all /Moeleuh, which is written Moelleuh. I'm not very active on anything anymore, to be honest, but I'm there. I mean, sometimes I post stuff.
I have an Instagram that I haven't posted to in like a year, so I mean, you could go to that too. But and then our wonderful producer, Sprinty Legs, you can go check her out at Sprinty Legs on Twitch and Twitter, Legs on YouTube, and definitely check out the project website, www.sprintylegs.com. There you can see the Game Boy database that we have started building out for Game Boy manuals and scans and all sorts of other retro archiving, more specifically towards the Game Boy. Which, by the way, Legs, I know you're going to listen to this, accept my goddamn manual scans already. There's only like 42 waiting for you. And I know we don't have them because I tried to look them up for people. Accept them. With that, we also have a Patreon, which we need to kind of revamp a little bit now that things on our end have changed quite a bit. Not only
and
just
on the end of Patreon as well, because goals are like just gone. So I mean, we can't put a goal anymore anyway. So yeah, we have to redo the entire thing.
Yeah, Patreon revamped a bit of their stuff, and just purely just from time standard for Mo and I too. It's just we can't. We just have to change some things around. But if you are into the Patreon stuff and want to support us in that way, we do have you can be a patron of our Patreon. Which does give you special access in our Discord and stuff as well. Our Discord is separate than RGL's Discord.
Yes.
So if you do become a patron and be like, why don't I have the patron tag on the RGL Discord? It's because it's not a part of that. Yeah. So that's that. It gives you access to behind the scenes stuff, access to notes, bloopers, I forgot what else it gives access to. Early access to Haunt Hunters, whatever Mo and I actually have time to do Haunt Hunters, which has been a while. So, and then we have merch. So we have a merch. We have a merch store that we need to put some more love into, but we do have a merch store. Which is merch.thisisgameboy.com, I believe the URL is, where you can get a fancy This Is Game Boy t-shirt, which with a fancy This Is Game Boy coffee cup. And I think that's all we have up right now. He won't put up stickers because he thinks stickers are dumb. And I've been wanting stickers for like the last 2 years. So
stickers someday when we get around to it.
And then we also have a PayPal, right? PayPal? Yeah, PayPal. PayPal's a bit difficult because obviously we can't tie a lot of things into PayPal. So if, subscriptions aren't your thing, because subscriptions you can forget about, and you just be like, you know what? I like that one episode of Amazing Penguin. I want to give a little bit of support to it. Let us know. We want to thank you. And thank you for your support one way or another. Because like I said, we can't tie that into Discord or anything else. So, uh, obviously, money can be tight, especially nowadays with inflation and God knows what else happening in the world. Listening to the podcast, leaving a review is huge, especially when you leave the 5-star reviews saying how awesome we are and how historically accurate we are when we talk about things. And pretty much we just never lie on the podcast episode to begin with. So, I mean, when you guys talk about that, it's great. So always just leave a 5-star review. If you're thinking 4, just round up to 5 and it'll be fine. Those help us get pushed up on the podcast list. Just think of it as helping, get the Game Boy more well known. All right, that's
Yeah.
Look at it this way: the more 5-star reviews that we get, the more Grimace birthday games that we get. All right, that's all I'm saying.
That's true. That is true.
So, and you can find all of this information on thisisgameboy.com, which will take you to short biographies of the 3 of us that do this podcast, along with links to the SoundCloud, which this stuff gets uploaded to, the YouTube channel where the videos get uploaded to. There's an RSS feed where you can find it on like Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, whatever other podcast platforms out there in the world. There's so many to keep track of, but all those pull from the RSS feed that we do offer to the public. And I don't know if Mo or Legs have been doing it, but I have broken out our podcasts into playlists by year. So, and the playlist albums are hilariously labeled based off of what happened that year. So there is a pandemic playlist. When we were doing episodes. What? Oh my god. So there is a pandemic playlist that is labeled such as, I forgot what I called it, but it's pretty good. For all the episodes that we did during the 2020 pandemic. So clearly I'm the only one that takes care of the playlist, apparently. So maybe I'll have to log in today and figure that out.
I think it's called The Spread of Retro.
There it is, yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about what I would call it. Yep. But yeah, like I said, you can find all that stuff on thisisgameboy.com. We definitely need to revamp this site a little bit, but the information is there and usable. I don't know if the widget still works or not for SoundCloud, but you used to be able to listen to the most recent episode on the website itself as well too. But I don't know if that widget's working or not anymore. So
sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So I don't know.
I don't know either.
It's fine.
Also, something else to talk about before we do the final closing. So Game Boy Jam ended. I don't know when I was at GDQ, basically. Ended a few weeks ago, and Tronimal, one of our listeners and friends, has asked us to talk about the Game Boy Jam, kind of market it, check out some of the games. So, over now, obviously, but definitely check out the Game Boy Jam submissions here. Let me pull up the link. I have that link actually handy because he gave it to me. Yes. I don't know if I
have it on my laptop, but I'm not on my laptop right
now. I was gonna say I don't know if he DM'd you, but he definitely gave it to me. So, yeah, Game Boy Showdown 2023. There were 85 entries submitted between May 13th and May 20th. 2,270 ratings were given to 83 entries between May 20th and May 27th. The average number of ratings per game was 26.7, and the median was 26. So if you're wanting to check out the results of the Game Boy Showdown, where the hell's my chat? You can check that out here at itch.io. Something cool before we go into all that too it was a lot of fun going through some of these games. I haven't played the all that I wanted to play yet. I've definitely played my fair share of handful, or my fair share of these games already. It was a lot of fun going through some of these games and seeing very familiar developers that I've played games for in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So like when I was going down the list, I found games from horrortu.nyc who specializes in horror games, and like Neighbor and stuff like that. Those games are super good. So when I saw that name was up there with a game called Friend of the Void, I was pretty stoked on seeing that. Then I seen there's a few others in here that I just noticed this on the fly. I was like, oh yeah, I've played their games before. Like whether they've been free or a couple bucks or whatever else, I've played them before, and they've always been really good games. So it's really awesome to see that they're still active at itch.io or just any development in general. So definitely go check out the Game Boy Showdown 2023 results. I believe I gave you the link to the overall winners and stuff like that. So which kind of leads into the final part of the outro. The Game Boy Jam did end, by the way, your question in the notes.
Yeah.
So the next episode that we will do will be on, well, the Game Boy Showdown of 2023 by Tronimal.
Yeah.
Jesus, can't talk today, man. By Tronimal, and I don't know how we're gonna format it yet, because 85, we're not gonna go over all 85 games. I can tell you that right now. I can tell you that right, because I ain't gonna play 85 games. A, B, I ain't gonna talk about 85 games, and C, I'll probably check out like a summary of the 85 games, and I'll probably play like 10 to 15 of those 85 games, maybe 20 if I have the time.
Yeah.
But we'll see how that format kind of rolls. Then we will do some like top 10 or top 5 with some honorable mentions or something. We'll figure it out. But we want to dedicate an episode to the Game Boy Showdown as well too, since it is a very cool thing, and it's a place where a lot of homebrews kind of get found and developed, and developers, get found as well too. So I definitely want to put some love into that part of the community.
Exactly. Yeah. No, that's why I put that question there, but you answered it, like you DM'd me that it ended and that we would do an episode on it, but I didn't change it in the notes. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. I've only checked out one game so far. That's all the time I had, but I'm definitely looking forward to playing some more.
Which game?
The first one, like
what Friends are for?
What are friends for? Yeah.
See, I haven't played that one yet. I've played 2 so far. I played River Styx Roundup, and I played Let's Be Friends. That one was actually pretty cute. So
all right.
But yeah. So yeah, and next time you hear from us, we'll be talking about the Game Boy Showdown. Hopefully be another live episode. This will be in July now. I know we got a lot going on in July, so
it's gonna be hard, but we'll see.
Maybe I'll have to wake up early again and be mad and
it's possible.
Chug another energy drink just to get through it, lose some internet again, tether my phone into the computer to make sure we get through it all. You know how it is. But yeah, I think that's all we got.
That's everything. Yep.
We did it. We got through a successful episode. It only took us 2 hours with one internet crash.
Seems fine.
I'll take it.
Seems like the regular. Yeah.
I'll take it. All right. Well, until next time. See y'all later.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Oh, I lost my Discord. There it is.